Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me?
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. If you're not new, thanks for coming back. Always happy to have you. If you're new here, I like to do a lot of like book, Disney, and lifestyle content. So if any of those things interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around and see some fun videos. Today I'm really excited to bring you a reading vlog. It is a Sunday. It's a cozy, chilly, cold Sunday in Boston, and I really have nothing going on. It's like 2:30. I met my sister for brunch this morning and my brother-in-law in the city. My boyfriend is picking me up later. We're gonna make dinner and we are gonna watch movies and hang out, and then we have a fun day planned tomorrow. It's a long weekend, so I really don't have much going on, and it is the perfect weather to do some reading. And this week I'm going back home. I live in Boston and my parents live about a 45-minute train ride away, so we're gonna go, well, I'm gonna go stay with them. They just bought a house in Cape Cod and I'm gonna stay with them at their new house. So I have a lot of reading time this week, and I wanted to take you guys along with me and just do a little reading vlog. I feel like it's been a while since we've done this. Super freaking excited for the first book I'm gonna read. I'm not gonna read right away. I'm finishing up packing up clothes to bring with me, and then we will get into some reading before my boyfriend comes to pick me up. But first thing that we're reading, and I'm trying to finish today, don't think I'll get to, but I'll get a good chunk, is Kingdom of the Feared by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the last book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. It's the last book in the series. I'm not ready for it to end. I'm like 130 pages into the book so far. It's about 400. So we have, there's a bonus chapter at the end. 370, nope, 270 or so left. And I think I can make a good chunk of this. I'm also going to bring Practical Magic home by Alice Hoffman. This is my book club book pick. I picked this for my book club to read, which is perfect for October. And depending on how far I get in Kingdom of the Feared, I keep wanting to say Kingdom of the Cursed, Kingdom of the Feared, I might be bringing Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw, because it's a good Halloween read. Look how big this font is. This is going to be a really fast read. So this could turn into like a weekly reading vlog, like what reading I get done, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, how I like things. So we're going to just see what footage I get of my reading time this week. So I'm going to quickly finish packing up all of these things, and then we will get on with the reading portion of this reading vlog, and I'm really excited. Check back with you guys in a little bit. I'm still packing up, but I wanted to show you one other book that Grant and I, my boyfriend, are going to be using, and it is the unofficial Disney Parks cookbook. We're going to make a couple recipes from this tonight. We're gonna make some Star Wars Ronto wraps. I've seen like Bronwyn Weissmiller and a lot of people get these in Disney World, so we're gonna try it. I'm gonna pack this. This is gonna come along with us. Okay, I'm all packed up and I did my chores before I left, because I like to get those done out of the way before I leave, and I decided to give little Miss Maple a snuggle. You've been by yourself all day? She needed a snuggle pretty bad, huh? So sad. But now, since all of that is done and taken care of, we can start reading. I'm probably not going to like say what's happening in the book because I want to spoil it for friends who haven't read it yet, but I will like give my thoughts if I like it, if it's how I thought it would go, all of that stuff as I'm reading along, but I'm not going to say what's happening. We're getting some shock factor here, some twists that we did not expect. I'm impressed. I'm impressed so far. Just wanted to give you guys a little update. I've been reading for like an hour and a half or an hour or so, and I've read about 75 pages more of Kingdom of the Feared, and it was really good. I read a really good section of Kingdom of the Feared. A lot of like twists and turns came out. We had a little spicy scene, and I left off at a really good spot. The last thing I read was I was wrenched from Wrath's bedchamber and into my next nightmare or something like that. So I left off at a good place, but Grant's almost here to pick me up. I'm gonna pack up my camera stuff to bring home for the weekend. If I film again later tonight, it'll be on my phone just because my camera stuff will all be packed up, and I probably won't have a ton of time to read tonight because I'm gonna be spending time with Grant. But if he's like showering or something, I'll probably just read for a little bit. Tomorrow when I'm on my train ride home, I usually don't take out my camera just because like on public transit and stuff, I don't like to do that. So those will probably be on my phone. So if the quality is a little bit back and forth in this video, I apologize. But I want to keep reading. I don't really want to stop, but I'm glad that I had some good like dedicated reading time. I had some tea, I lit a candle. I needed the vibe reading time today, and I'm really enjoying this so far. Still have a little bit of that dread that I don't want it to end yet. So we'll see what happens, what reading I get done today, and I will keep you guys updated. But maybe see you later today, maybe see you tomorrow. It's a few days later. I'm in my car. I'm back home with my parents. So the last we left off was Sunday. I was trying to get some reading done. And I actually did get a little bit more reading done than I thought I would on Sunday. Grant wanted to watch some football, so while he watched football, I read Kingdom of the Feared, and I'm like halfway right now. I'm hoping today I can get some more good reading time in. Yesterday was Monday. It was Indigenous Peoples Day. Grant and I spent the day in New Hampshire, which was really fun. I was supposed to have some reading time yesterday and take the train, but we ended up coming back from New Hampshire pretty late, so Grant just drove me home, so I didn't have to try and finagle all my bags onto the train. So we're gonna try and make up for it this afternoon. I'm working from home today. I'm gonna run and get some breakfast. My plan is to work out on my lunch, and then I have a nail appointment at 5:30. But yesterday on Grant and I's New Hampshire adventure, we did go up to Concord, New Hampshire, which is, but I got some good stuff. I went to Gibson's bookstore, which I hadn't been in a couple of years, and I love that bookstore. But I got this new tote that says "Readers are Leaders" on it. I meant to bring my journal and I forgot, so I got like a makeshift one, but it has these gold gilded pages that I'm really excited about. And I did get 2 books that I wasn't really planning to get, but I'm happy that I have. I have the Final Gambit, which is the last book in the Inheritance Games series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This cover is so pretty. I'm excited to finally finish this series. I don't know when I'm gonna get to this one, but I'm happy I have it for when I'm ready for that series to end. This one I didn't realize was a series, and I used to have the ARC, but I think I got rid of it when I moved. But I did buy it. I got Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I've heard such good things about this. It's supposed to be like a King Arthur retelling with like space wizardry in North Carolina. I don't know. But it's like a YA fantasy. And I haven't read, like, I feel like, this is gonna be an accurate claim. I feel like I haven't read a YA fantasy series in a really long time. I recognize I'm currently reading Kingdom of the Feared, which is a YA fantasy series. I did not realize it was a series. The kind girl at Gibson's said the second one comes out soon. Okay, we are a couple days later. It's been a couple days. It's Friday now. I think the last time I checked in with you guys was maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. I can't quite remember, but it is Friday now. I'm on the Cape this weekend with my parents. I have been reading Kingdom of the Feared here and there. I officially hit 300 pages this morning before I started working, so I have like 100 pages of that left, and it is so good. Like, there are so many things that she figured out and wove into this last book that I just could never see coming, and it is fantastic. I'm really sad I don't want it to end. I have 100 pages left, and I'm in a weird place where I'm like, how the hell are you going to wrap this up in 100 pages? But I know that you have to. So I feel like the next 100 pages are gonna be pretty crazy. But my plan tonight is to stay up and finish that book and read that book and get a good chunk of reading in. I did bring 3 other books with me. I'm not quite sure why, honestly. I was not gonna be able to read them all. But I have that, I have Practical Magic to read and Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. And I went to Target today, and honestly, the Target was a little scary here at the Hyannis Mall. So the Hyannis Mall also had a Barnes & Noble. So I decided to pop in. There is another bookstore in the town where my parents live that I do want to check out this weekend and probably grab some stuff. But I went for a little Friday trip at the Barnes & Noble. So I'm going to share with you what I got. These things are cheesy, but Grant and I really like them. This is a 1 question a day for you and me, a 3-year daily reflection journal. I think I'm going to give this to him for our anniversary. I have been kind of looking for a like mental health journal, anti-anxiety journal, and they had kind of slim pickings in that regard, but I found Be Kind to Yourself, which is like a wellness journal with prompts and trackers. So it's got like physical health, mental health, things like that. So we're gonna try. I'm not the most hopeful, but like, I'll give it a shot. There were a lot of book options. There was a lot I was interested in, but I just didn't feel like grabbing a ton. So I only got 2 reading books today. So one, reading Kingdom of the Feared has really made me realize I've missed YA fantasy series in my life. The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. I already have this book. I have it in a different cover that they don't make that cover anymore, or that like any of the series books in that cover, and I think this one's prettier, and I'm pretty sure my copy of the Iron King is in storage. So I got this one and I really like it. I read this series back in middle school, so I actually never got to the end of them because I guess I saw them all today. There are 8 books. I remember loving these in middle school. Makes me feel old to say that. Who knows if I still will. But then I also got Lightlark by Alex Astor. I've seen this book a lot on TikTok. I just think the cover's freaking gorgeous. Don't really know what it's about, but I'm willing to give it a shot. But I actually like the hardcover under the dust jacket a little bit better. Yeah, it's been a long, busy week at work, so I got a lot less reading done in my off time because I was just tired, but hopefully we can get back to that this weekend. Hi friends, it's a few days later. So I, in my week with my mom down the Cape, did not get as much dedicated reading time as I thought I would, which makes sense. I was hanging out with my mom, we were doing things together. I hope you enjoyed what you saw of this reading vlog and my reading time for Kingdom of the Feared, and I figured to kind of balance out the lack of reading that we saw, not only did you get 2 book hauls in this video, but you also will get a nice little review of Kingdom of the Feared. Kingdom of the Feared by Kerri Maniscalco is the 3rd and final book in the, this was my makeshift bookmark. It's the 3rd and final book in the Kingdom of the Cursed series. This has been a much anticipated read for me throughout this year. I have been waiting so long to get my hands on this book and to read it. I have the Barnes & Noble special edition cover, and it does have an additional chapter from Envy's point of view at the end of the book, which I actually didn't read. I'll tell you why I didn't read it at the end later in this video, but I went and I grabbed my copy, but I was busy reading other things that I didn't get the chance to read it, and I really wanted to be able to dive in. But once I started, it probably took me less than a week to actually read the whole book. It just sucked me in. It was such a good read, and every time, even though I didn't have really long spurts of reading time for this book, every time that I started reading, I didn't want to stop. I wanted like a dedicated hour or 2 hours of reading. I would read little snippets for like maybe 30 minutes before I started work when I was down the Cape, and I would just like be like, ugh, I don't want it to end, because it was truly so good. I think this was a spectacular finale to an incredible series. I would say that the Kingdom of the Curse series is a new favorite of mine, and this one and Kingdom of the Wicked are probably my two favorite. Ooh, I'm about to make a bold claim, are some of my favorite books that I've read this year. I cannot speak highly enough about this series. I feel like whenever I talk to like my friends who read, or just friends in general, I tell them about this series because, first of all, the whole series is just such an interesting concept. The Seven Deadly Sins is Princess of Hell. This book, the third one, I'm trying not to spoiler too much about it, but so much is revealed in this book. Like, it almost feels like it could be entirely separate, because you learn so much. It unravels so much of what we thought we knew in the first two books that it's just like, whoa, how did Kerri Maniscalco think of all of these things and put all of this together? Because this was an involved book. A lot is revealed, a lot comes to light, and it's kind of a wild ride right from the get-go. We literally leave off in the exact moment that Kingdom of the Wicked leaves off, which is a pretty romantic moment that actually gets pretty stunted, because you are just sucked right back into the action of this story. If you haven't read Kingdom of the Curse or Kingdom of the Wicked, I'll put a little timestamp before you should jump to, but they are about to complete the like physical portion of their marriage bond, Wrath and Amelia, and she is pulled away to meet her sister Victoria, who is actually not dead. She's not been murdered. She's very much alive. And to kind of talk to her about what the heck is going on, how is she still alive, why is she still alive, and it just leads a whole chain of events, a domino effect that completely alters Amelia's world, Wrath's world. A lot is learned about the curse in this time frame as well. Amelia is then tasked with something way more than she bargained for. She started this series on an adventure to avenge her sister who had been murdered, and she ends up with like tenfold of what she expected. She's meeting Princess of Hell, she's falling in love with the Princess of Hell, a Prince of Hell, she becomes a Princess of Hell, and even more is revealed throughout this book. Okay, my friends who haven't read can come back now. While so many things are unraveled and so many twists and turns happen throughout Kingdom of the Feared, none of them feel unnatural. And I've talked about this on my channel before. A lot of times I feel like authors try and put in like this really mind-blowing, unpredictable twist. And a lot of times it flops and it just feels too unrealistic or not natural or succinct, and that is like absolutely not the case with Kingdom of the Feared. Every single thing that Kerri Maniscalco reveals to us makes sense, and it's just like, wow, that all checks out. Like, all of the loose ends, all the little holes are all filled and figured out, and they are seamless. They make perfect sense. She really expands this world and setting that is the Seven Circles of Hell. She really goes into the history and lore of this land and of the witches. It took so much thought and effort to put all of this together to further that mythology and that history of witches and demons and vampires and werewolves and creatures and all of these things in this world. She truly took so much time and effort with this book. As always with Kerri Maniscalco's writing and with this series, it's just beautifully written. The descriptions are so like lush and beautiful, and her writing is so lyrical. I absolutely love it. One thing that I particularly love in this book is her descriptions of like dresses and finery and what people are wearing are just so extravagant and beautiful. I'm like, I want to wear a gown like that one day. But I think the coolest part of this book is how much we see Amelia develop into her own character with her own set of values and priorities, where I feel like a lot of the times in previous books she was doing things for other people, whereas in this she is making choices specifically for herself and for what she wants. Those choices may be with consideration to other people, but they are not on behalf, or they're not because of other people. It is truly because of who she is and what she wants. She is a really brave and bold character, and she really steps into her power throughout this book, literally and like figuratively. She's just like a force to be reckoned with throughout this book, and it's been such a cool evolution to see her grow from like this like heartbroken, really fragile person to this very empowered, powerful one at the end of the series. One thing about this book that took me a little bit for a loop, so don't be surprised, is I was about 300 pages in, and I truly did not know how all of it could be wrapped up in like the last 100 pages. Like, I was reading this book and I was like, there's no way that Kerri Maniscalco figures all of this out in 100 pages. It's a while, the last 100 pages, but she does it successfully, and you're just like, at the end you feel very, very satisfied. You're just like, the ending, it is what it is. There's no like questions. You're not left with questions, but you are left wanting more, because it's such a beautifully written book. It's such an enticing book. It's so good that you just want there to be more, but sadly I don't think there's going to be, unless she does some spin-off novels, which I wouldn't be upset about. But that is why I did not read the bonus chapter from Envy's point of view in this book, because I knew it was just going to leave me wanting more, and I ended at a good point where I had no questions and the story was what it was. I got to the end and I wanted to leave it there feeling complete and not wanting more. Another thing about this book that is just like a forewarning, this book is spicy, to say the least. I brought this book to work a couple of times to try and read on my lunch break, and that was not a good option. There were some fresh scenes in this book that kind of take you by surprise. There's always like this undercurrent of like sexual tension and sexiness happening in this book, but yeah, I don't necessarily want to be in my cubicle when I'm reading things like that, so just be warned. Like, this is maybe a book to read in the privacy of your own home. That energy and that tension is way ramped up compared to the last two books. I am horribly sad that this book is done and this series is done. It didn't put me in a book coma like I kind of expected it to. If anything, it kind of like made me want to read more and read more fantasy novels and just like get sucked in and find more worlds that are captivating in the way that this was. It's been a while since I've had a series and I'm like, I just literally don't want it to end. Like, I could read book after book after book from this world and this series. All of it was just so stunning. The romance between Amelia and Wrath was so wholesome. Like, it was so fresh, but it was so wholesome at the same time. So I was just like, I want to find a Wrath. Like, everybody deserves a Wrath, which is weird because he's the devil, so like, interesting. And the whole time I was reading, this play between the devil like being good and like people being multifaceted and a combination of good and evil, and like the literal devil being a romantic interest, it's just so interesting. And it just like, it's a book that really makes you think. It truly is fantastic. And if you're in the need of a good fantasy court fantasy magic series, this is a great one. It has such a unique concept I can't stop talking about. This was a 5-star read for me. Yeah, it was amazing to go along with Amelia through all of like the pain and hardship and trial she goes through, and also to see all those like triumphant moments where she gets her power back, or she's re-empowered, or she becomes this like fiery, powerful force to be reckoned with kind of person. And maybe I will hold out hope that something else will come from Kerri Maniscalco, or I will read her next series, whatever she comes up with. I do already have her previous series, Stalking Jack the Ripper, on my shelf, ready to go, but I think I need to wait a little bit longer because I'm just gonna compare it to Kingdom of the Cursed, and I don't want to. Those are my thoughts on Kingdom of the Feared and the Kingdom of the Cursed series. If you read it, what did you think? Did you like it? Were you impressed by the ending? Was there anything that you were a little bit disappointed by? Or if you haven't read it yet, do you want to? You definitely should. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'm happy to help. But that is my reading vlog and review of Kingdom of the Feared by Kerri Maniscalco. 5-star read from me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.
Would you stay